welcome back to another episode of Admit One. This is episode 6. My name is Jadon, J-Dog, J-Bob, and this is
Tristan.
And today we are diving into the movie Uncut Gems. It is going to leave your heart racing, your palms sweating, maybe craving a little bit of mom's spaghetti.
Arms weak, knees heavy.
It stars my main man Adam Sandler, who I've always been told that I look like as Howard Ratner.
Dude, younger you look just like Adam Sandler.
Yeah, I've been told that. I have been told that. I could put a picture up. I don't know. Should I put a picture up?
I mean, if you want. I deleted all the old pictures of me that
I
could find.
I might. It was also Julia Fox's film debut.
Really?
Idina Menzel was in it. Yeah. I don't even know who Julia Fox is, but I know it was her film debut. I guess she was some kind of influencer / socialite.
Interesting.
When I heard Fox as the last name, I got her confused with Megan Fox. Idina Menzel as Howard's wife, Dina. Keith William Richards as Phil. Lakeith Stanfield as Damani. Kevin Garnett. Was that his name? Kevin Garnett, the basketball star, KG. I can't hear you again.
You know?
Yeah.
We're at technical difficulties podcast.
That is weird. We are. The Weeknd was also in this movie, but yeah, it was a crazy movie. It was an A24 movie, which I did not know.
I don't know who A24 is.
One other.
Like a lot
they
of
made a
people
movie last year called Civil War. A movie called Lady Bird.
Okay, I do remember
Everything
seeing
Everywhere
that.
All at Once.
Okay, yeah.
Hereditary, Midsummer, The Lighthouse. A bunch of these are on the wheel.
Huh. Yeah, I know a lot of people have suggested.
They have a movie called
movies.
Room.
Well, I just don't know my production companies very well.
The overall plot, and me neither. The overall plot of this movie, it's pretty much about this jeweler in New York City's Diamond District who has a gambling addiction. That's a long short of it. He has a gambling addiction, and there are so many times that he could have had a solution to his problems and just chose to just gamble the money away.
He could have shot this exact same movie in Harlan County, Kentucky. And instead of going to the casino, he could have went to his local Double Quick and just like kept buying scratch offs. It was the exact same concept. Give me another number 30.
That is hilarious. I want $5.
I'm gonna buy a little Timmy a Mountain Dew.
Moon Pie and RC Cola.
Oh man, now we're getting serious.
I wrote down that I'd never seen. I wrote down that I'd never seen many Adam Sandler movies before, which lots of people are giving me a lot of crap for. I've seen Click, and I believe that's it. I've seen The Waterboy. I've seen that, but that's it.
Dude,
So,
one of his most underrated
funny
movies, I think,
movies.
is Bedtime Stories.
Oh, well, make that 3. I've seen that one.
Okay.
I forgot about that one.
A lot of people are just too caught up on Happy
That
Gilmore.
was really good.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal movie.
Haven't seen that one.
Oh my god.
I did write that gem was in fact uncut.
Definitely no cuts in that gym.
I wrote, "Oh, cool! The microscopic zoom into the gym title sequence. That's cool." And then it came out of his butthole. Because he was having
that really took me by surprise.
Colonoscopy.
Yeah, because I was like, my notes. I was like, oh, the camera in the gym is trippy. Did we go into a person? Oh yeah, that's a colon. Like it was so quickly just going straight into some dude's butthole.
This movie was shot, by the way. I forgot to mention this, on 35mm film.
Oh, perfection.
Instead of digitally. Yeah, it's always nice. It just makes it look better, in my opinion. And I believe the quality is a lot higher. You shoot on a shot on film. I thought Adam looked a little funny, and I looked into it, and he was wearing false teeth and a fake mole on his cheek. I didn't notice the mole was
Oh, I
fake,
didn't
but
notice that
I knew his
either.
teeth looked completely different. Some of my handwriting on this notebook, because it's an itty bitty notebook, is so sloppy. I'm looking at it like, what? Oh, yeah, I wrote, not a fan of Adam's acting, which changed later on. This was in the first 20 minutes of the film. I wasn't a fan. But I think it was just because I disliked the character and I was being hard on him. But later on, some of the range that he shows as a dramatic actor was absolutely impressive as
Dude, I
Howard.
said the exact same
Um,
thing. Like, he's been in a lot of goofy movies, and to still like have the goofy character at the beginning of the movie, and then get like actually serious and dramatic at the end of the movie, and just the differential is intense. I think it's one of his best movies that I've ever seen.
Another note on that opening transition, I put that it was a gem of a transition.
That's me slapping my knee.
So it opens up basically with Adam, or I'm sorry, we're going to do this the right way this
Howard,
time around.
get it right.
We are going to do this the right way. Shout out to my mother-in-law, who she's not my mother-in-law yet, but she's gonna be. I'm engaged to her daughter, so um, she left some feedback and texted me as well, telling me that she was screaming at her phone that we didn't know the characters of the Breakfast Club, and I felt ashamed.
I don't
So
pay much
yeah,
attention to the characters' names.
his name is Howard Ratner. Howard Ratner is his name. Julia Fox's character is also just named Julia. That's why I didn't read hers off. But so he goes into his store, and some of these goons are there to like rough him up because I guess he owes money to a loan shark, and we don't know who the loan shark is. They make a big deal about not knowing his identity for the first hour of the film, and the payoff on that's crazy, and we'll get to that.
Oh my god!
But all we know is that his name's Ano. Ano wants his money. So they come to his shop and they rough him up. And then you meet a fella named Damani. Damani comes in and brings people to Howard's shop in order to get Howard to sell jewelry to him, and then gives him a little bit of commission for it. But he's also trying to sell his own Rolexes, which you find out later are not real Rolexes, and trying to sell them to people.
He
And
gets
then that's
very
when
upset towards the end of the movie regarding those watches.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. I've been talking a lot, so before I continue with like the plot and my notes going along with it, do you have anything that you wanted to pop in there?
No, man, you're on a roll.
Really
Keep going with it.
All right, let me take a breath because I have been talking a lot, and it's hard for me to breathe through my nose while I talk.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're a little sick, boy.
Yeah, just a little congested. Allergies are kicking my butt.
Dude, low key though, I want one of those Furbies that he was showing.
Oh yeah, he was showing blinged out Furbies. Howard orders like this black opal from these Ethiopian mines, and they bring it to him, and it's in a fish, and he cuts open the fish and gets it out, and he invites the basketball player, KG. Kevin Garnett, nicknamed the Big Ticket, invites him, and he sees this opal, and he wants it. He feels like it's going to give him the best luck in the world. And he's leaning on the counter looking at it and just so intrigued about the colors that the counter breaks. And a fun fact about that is that they actually rigged the counter with like electrical charges that would break it on a button without anyone knowing. That way everyone would be like surprised that he broke it.
Oh, so that was an actual reaction?
Yeah, it was an actual reaction. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a neat little fact. I thought everybody was really good at acting over broken glass.
So KG wants the opal, and Howard can't sell it to him because he has to put it up for auction. So he says, all right, just loan it to me for a night. So he loans it to him for a night. And he loans it to him, and then I know he doesn't get it back that when he's supposed to get it back. Oh, yeah. He holds Kevin Garnett's Celtics ring and takes it to the pawn shop, pawns it. That way he can get money to go put on a bet. That way he can pay off the loan sharks that came and roughed him up. So he does that, goes into this little restaurant, makes the bet with the bookie, and the guys, the loan sharks, see him. Arno's not there, but his henchmen are. And so he sends him a picture of the money. He's like, I got your money, as he's walking in to gamble it. So he does that, and then he goes to a school play and for his daughter. And he sees him in there, and he's like, let's talk outside. They're like, are you sure you want to do that? And they rough him up.
Rough him up, and they get him naked.
Oh, yep. And you still don't really see Arno's face during this. He just kind of, he's half turned around, barely reflecting. He's like, Arno, I'll get you your money, Arno. And Arno's like, take his clothes off. And then he locks him in the trunk of his car. So he has to call his wife and get him to let him out.
She was so tired of his bullcrap.
Dude, yeah, and she played that very well.
Yeah, she did.
She was an amazing actress. She's a lot of respect for her. I just flipped my notebook over and saw a really funny note I'm excited to get to. Oh my God. So, and at that point I wrote, it's not about a gym, because at this point I was still trying to figure out the premise of the movie. I said it's about a man with a gambling problem. So they go through that, and then, so when he's in the car with them, they tell him also that that bet that he'd placed, he'd hit it, so he was going to have enough money to pay him back off. Arno, the mobster, stopped the bet, as it was made with money that was owed to him. So they strip him naked and lock him in his car. So he rushes over to the Weeknd's house, because the Weeknd is in this movie, and he plays the Weeknd. Damani is also there, the guy who sold Howard, or has the watches, the fake Rolexes. And the Weeknd and Julia, Howard's mistress that lives at his apartment, the Weeknd and Julia start like making out in a closet and doing coke together. And Howard walks in there and it's like, I don't want you in my life anymore. And practically just throws her out.
And then she's not your hoe no more.
I put that the orange hoodie and the black light that Damani was wearing during that scene was really cool.
Dude, he 100% did it on purpose, because that was so sick.
He was like, I ain't getting on stage till I got a black light. And it was just, it was beautiful.
I still don't understand why The Weeknd was in the movie. Like, he was mentioned a lot. Like, he was so in depth with that plot of the movie somehow.
Yeah, I don't understand why he was him or Kevin Garnett, but they both did.
Yeah, like, it didn't make sense, but it was tied into the movie to where it did.
But during that scene, when he walks into the closet, I was like, oh my God, Adam Sandler speaking Spanish, bilingual king. And then they got out to the car, and everyone was speaking Spanish. I'm like, wow, the language switched up really quick. That is crazy.
What happened to your movie?
Yeah. See, and I was hoping I'd get a reaction from you, like, what do you mean? And at that point, I realized that the platform I was watching it on, I had it switched to the wrong language.
Dude, oh my gosh.
It wasn't even Spanish, it was Hindi.
Oh,
so
dude, I had a patient once that legitimately spoke Swahili.
Dude, I have a buddy that speaks Swahili. He's from
Swahili?
From Africa. Swahili. He's from Africa. His name is Rogers. And yes, his name is plural.
Nice. There are many of him.
But he gave himself the nickname prior to all the stuff that happened. His family, actually, he didn't give himself a nickname. He'd been called this a while. He'd been called R. Kelly.
Oh, God.
Yeah. If you haven't watched our supplemental, check it out. We'll plug there. But yeah, and then the movie just started making me anxious after this point, because they go to like a Passover dinner with their family, and at this point you find out this is crazy. When they reveal this, I was like, hold up, no, Arno is Howard's brother-in-law.
Yeah,
the loan
man,
shark
I was
that
not
he owns
expecting that.
Dude, I was like, hold up, that guy looks kind of familiar. And then I heard him go, Arno, what's going on? And he's like, don't talk to me.
Yeah, I was not expecting them to be related. Then especially everything that happened at the end of the movie.
Oh, dude, that was so sudden. That was so crazy. That ending was so wild. I was
legitimately took my breath. I was not expecting that.
I've been begging Olivia to let me talk to her about it, and she won't. For the fair fact that she had an audiobook that she listened to recently. It was Pet Sematary by Stephen King.
Oh, nice.
And I'd planned on reading that book, and I haven't yet. And she wanted to talk about it to me. And I didn't let her because I told her I was going to read the book. And she's like, well, I'm going to watch the movie. So she doesn't. So, but that is fair. It's fair.
Pet Sematary is a fantastic movie, by the way. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I've never seen the movie.
So good.
After you find that out, Howard starts bragging to his father-in-law, Gooey, about how much money that the Opal will bring in at auction, and Arno notices. And it's like, oh, just, you can tell he's thinking about going there. And then Howard begs his wife, Dina, for another chance at marriage, saying, listen, we can be happy together. And on the way, you're tearing us apart. You're tearing me apart, Dina. On the way home from there, he's like, I need to stop at my apartment and grab something. And he was going to check and make sure that his mistress, Julia, was gone. And she left some music playing. And on the way in, his little boy needed to use the bathroom, and he didn't want him in there because he didn't know if she was gone or not yet. So he is going down the hallway asking people to use the bathroom, and he lets him in. Someone lets him in, and
he was so daring for letting his son walk in that stranger's apartment and then just dip.
Yeah, see, I thought at that point the movie was going to turn into like the kid got abducted or something with how this guy's luck was going.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, no, he's going to have to sell the gym to pay off these people, and he's got to figure out the loan sharks. But
well, he goes in there and uses the bathroom, and
it probably would have been more interesting than the actual last 40 minutes of the movie.
Oh, I mean, I enjoyed it. It kept me anxious. But that would have been cool. Speaking of abduction, I've never seen the movie Taken. Heard good things.
That's a fantastic movie. And we can't forget that Howard attacked the Weeknd in the club. Like, he swung on him.
That is true. He did, in fact, do that. He said, Weeknd, meet my fist. This one's Saturday, this one's Sunday. He didn't actually say that. I
was going to say, I don't remember him saying that. But the fact that you remembered that, it must have been a really important part of the movie.
I wrote off Arno is his family in all caps.
Yeah, I was not expecting that plot twist.
In pertaining to his wife telling him off, I said, tell him off, girl. That's what I wrote down.
I really thought that she was going to go back to him.
I didn't. I could tell that she was done. But she was showing concern at the end of the movie, so I wonder if things would have worked out.
Yeah, I still want to know what happened.
He walked in there, and Julia, his mistress, not his wife, was gone. And I wrote down she left, and he's shocked. And after the kid comes out of the bathroom, he's like, that guy was talking about how you always come out of there with some hot girl. Is it Mom? He said, you tell no one about that. And I wrote down, it ain't your mom, kid.
I really thought when they got back in the car, and especially when they got home and pulled in their driveway, that he was going to rat on him.
Yeah, I did too. I fully did too.
I was like, oh man, this kid just ruined Christmas.
So Garnett comes to the shop, returns the opal, and offers Howard $250,000 for it. But he refuses because it's appraised at like so many millions of dollars. And he lies and says that he left Garnett's ring at home, which he actually pawned. Damani quits from Howard, and he learns that Howard pawned Garnett's ring as well as other clients' collateral. And then Howard berates Damani for allowing Garnett to hold on to the opal for so long. And then Damani comes in and starts like trashing his office while he's getting a phone call about his colonoscopy, telling him he's all clear. And then he like kills his fish, and he says, "Man, F them fish."
Yeah.
And
And then the lady that's the that works behind the counter just walks in there and they start crying and trauma bonding together over the most weird stuff.
Oh my god, yeah, later on after the auction. Yeah.
Was that after the auction? I thought it was
that
that
was
sex
after the
scene.
auction. It was
Ah,
after the auction. Yeah. Yeah. I got a lot to say about that one. I don't even have it written down. That scene was just so awkward. It was
oh,
so
the
bad.
auction scene.
But I know that. Well, yeah. That had me on the edge of my seat. But no, him and the girl in the office,
Oh
Julia.
yeah, oh
Um.
yeah, because of
So
the tattoo and all that. Yeah.
yeah. So the girl with the Howard tattoo instead
Which
of the girl with the
apparently
dragon
is
tattoo.
Julia, his mistress. So,
Yes.
it made sense.
At the auction, he finds out that the opal has been appraised for like a lot lower, like only 155,000. So his father-in-law's there, and he convinces him. His name's Gooey once again to bid on the gem and drive it up. So there's this big long auction scene, and they get it up to like 150,000. And Gooey doesn't want to do it, but he keeps going, and Kevin gets it up to 170,000, and Gooey bids again, and Kevin doesn't take it. So
He got it up to
he get.
180 because it sold for 190.
I thought it sold for 180.
Heck, it might have. I don't remember. It was
We'll say 185, no matter what.
take good or leave it. But yeah,
Um,
definitely did not sell for as much as what he was anticipating. Because walking in, he was like, KG wants this opal real bad. He'll pay for it. Turns out that KG didn't want as bad as he thought.
no, so he gives him the opal outside, and Howard says, "I'll give you the money." Arno, Phil, and Nico, a couple Arno's goons, confront him outside of the auction. Uh, and he's like, "Here, I'll call KG right now, and I'll get him on the phone, and I'll get him to come over, and we'll clear this up, and he'll buy it, and I'll give you the money." So he's like, "Hey, KG, what's going on, buddy?" And they grab the phone, and they're like, "There's no one on the phone," and they throw his phone, and they beat him up. They bust his nose, and then they follow it. He starts following him, and he's like, "Oh no, we can make this right." And he busts him in the face again and throws him. Yep. Throws him right in there like he's trying to make a wish. I wish this guy would leave me alone.
I wish I had $500,000.
So he gets back to his shop, and then that's when the scene Tristan was talking about. If you want to talk about it a little bit.
So he walks in with toilet paper up his nose, and then Julia just looks at him like she's never seen him before, and just so much concern, but yet shock. He just darts straight to his office, and that's when she goes in there and they do their weird trauma bonding, and then she's like, "Unzip my dress." And he's like, "What?" And she goes, "No, it's not like that. Just unzip it and look." And she has Howard tattooed on her butt.
Well, no, mind you, while this man is bawling his eyes out like, "I'm a failure. Everything just goes wrong in life, and I don't know who to go to or what to do."
He's going through every stage of grief right there behind his desk, and she's like, "Look at my butt tattoo."
And she says, "I'm sad too."
Then she starts mentioning her dad and all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah, it's just really weird. But during that, he gets a call that cheers him up that Garnet wants to buy the opal. So
that's right. It was during that scene.
Yep, and then while that's happening, the goons, Arno, and everyone shows up because he called them. So this whole time, he had, like I said, so many opportunities to give him the money where he's gotten money, like when he pawned the ring and he went to gamble, and he just, he keeps messing up. So he goes to, he texts Arno and's like, "KG's coming over to buy the ring. Come get your money." They show up. He buzzes them. They come in. And
KG comes in and buys the ring, and they come in and hands the duffel bag and hands it to Julia through the window to go bet.
Because she walks by her and goes to another store and hangs out the window and hands it to her and is like, "There's a bet in the bag."
We should also mention that this opal is KG's good luck charm. So this is like the NBA Finals. It was Boston and I don't remember the other team.
The Celtics.
But yeah,
Wait, that is Boston.
Yeah.
Sorry, see, as you know, I don't know sports. It was the Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh yeah, it was the 76ers. Yeah. And
This was from the 2012 NBA Eastern Conference semifinals.
And it was game 5 or 6 that he had already given the opal back to Howard, and it was like the worst game of his career. And then that's when he goes back to get the opal, and then Howard tells him like specific stuff to do during the game, and those are the bets that he makes. So it's like very specific, targeted bets.
She takes a helicopter to the Mohegan Sun Casino and places the bet.
Dude, I didn't like the helicopter guy.
No, dude, he was weird.
So, like, I'm probably going to cut this part out just because it could be kind of controversial. But he reminded me of so much with like how he was saying words and how creepy he was.
His complexion, they're the same color, and you couldn't really see the guy's face because it was obscured. But he was an odd fella, that's for sure.
Yeah, he was a weird little critter.
I did put a note, and I don't know if this is controversial as well. I think it was kind of maybe a point of the movie. But when he first stares at the gems, you see the flashbacks of all the miners that were, went through the trouble of getting it. And he's talking, KG is, to Howard about how he paid some Ethiopian miners. Sorry, he paid some Ethiopian miners to $50,000 for a gem that he was going to sell for millions of dollars. And he saw nothing wrong with that. And then he was going to sell the gem to KG. And I said, in both ways, he is profiting off of black people, both in betting and in the purchase of the gem.
Dude, I don't think you can say that.
I didn't mean it in any kind of way, but
I know. It was just so funny hearing you say it. It just caught me off guard.
You're not wrong though.
He was.
He's profiting off of the exploitation of black people.
Yeah,
the Ethiopian people, and then sports betting with KG.
Yeah. I think it was also to shine some light on that as well.
So they found out, Arno and them come in there, and they found out that he bet the money, and they dangle him out the window, and that shot was great. That shot was awesome.
Oh, dude, that was so cinematic. It was so nice.
And he's blubbering like a baby, crying, saying, "Please, I got kids. I
I promise I'll pay."
And they're like, they just give up on him. They're like, you know what, we're just going to leave. And he's like, no, I'm going to get your money. I'm going to get your money. Like, he never knows when to stop. So they go out into the door. So, like, to get into this place, you have to be buzzed in one door and then buzzed in another door. So there's like a waiting room in between. So they go out the first door and it shuts, and he hasn't buzzed him out yet. And he said, buzz me out. And he doesn't buzz him out. And at this point, I wrote down in my notes, he broke. Because this is when you see this man absolutely just go off the rails. This is the craziest bit of the movie. Tristan hadn't got to this bit of the movie last night when I finished it. He said he had 30 minutes left, and I said, lock in. Get ready.
Because at that point, his family's life was on the line. And he knew that.
Yeah. Well, technically it's been the whole time because that's his brother-in-law. Like, that's
but he made a phone call and actually was going to send people to their house.
Yeah. So he tells his wife and kids to leave and go to Amy's, a friend of theirs, because there's a gas leak. And the whole time, like, he keeps these mobsters locked in a room, a bulletproof glass room, and they're sitting there smoking cigarettes, sweating to death. Which I wrote that window should have fogged up more with them in it than it did. I don't know how much bulletproof glass fogs up, but I
was going to say it could also depend on the material. Because it may not actually be glass. It could be like a bullet resistant, like plastic or something. But there would still be some form of condensation.
Like, especially with them sweating and it getting as hot as it did.
Yeah.
So he makes them watch the whole game with him, dude. And he's sitting there
that whole scene.
And it's just absolutely crazy.
They're sitting there smoking, absolutely drenched in sweat. He's just enjoying the
Not
Celtics
saying
game.
a word.
He's mocking him some.
Not saying a word.
No, because whenever the bets start hitting, he goes and talks to him. Is like, "Did you see that? Did you see that? We're getting closer to winning."
No, I'm talking about the gangsters.
Oh no, they did not
like,
say
at first they
anything.
were talking on their phones, but
they just mean mugged him the entire time.
And that left me in fear for, like, one, I was worried about how the bet was going to go. Two, I was worried about what was going to happen when they got buzzed out. So during this whole scene, Julia's at the casino watching the game as well. And then the pilot's like, "Hey, sweetheart, if you want to come up to my room, I'm in the penthouse. Come on up anytime." And she runs up there because she sees some of the bad guys in the casino.
Some of the goons and the goblins.
So she runs up there in the casino and runs up there to the penthouse and's hiding out with him. And he has to shower and says that he has food coming and all that jazz. And while she's up there, he wins. He wins the game. They win the bet. He's so happy that everything finally paid off. And he's like, oh no, I got your money right there. I got you right there.
I thought that the end was going to go so much differently because he was actually smiling. I was like, he's going to get out and celebrate with him.
Yeah, I thought so too. And he opens the door. He buzzes him out, and he's like, "You see Arno? I don't think it's Arno. I think it's Phil."
I'm going to beep that part out until we actually get there because I want to build it up more. So he's pointing at the TV, pointing at the piece of paper that had the bet or saying the bets or something, just clarifying how each parlay hit. Turns around and sees a gun pointed at him and then gets shot in the head.
And it's like abrupt. It's like split second, and then the camera immediately, as he gets shot, pans up to the ceiling, which is a reflective ceiling, and it has a really cool shot of him. Dude,
the camera work in this movie is phenomenal. Like, I don't know the cameramen that they had.
Yeah, it was great.
They need a raise.
It was great. I think it really helped add to the overall feel of the anxiety of the movie.
It was such an emotional movie from so many aspects.
Some of the camera and electrical department in this movie. Camera operator was Denny Quartz.
Denny
additional
Quartz.
Second assistant was Eddie Goldblatt. Camera car operator was David Connolly.
Shout out to that camera team. I know they will never listen to this, but they killed it on that movie.
No, but yeah, it's nice to give credit where credit's due.
Oh, 100%.
The pacing was great.
Nothing was forced. You knew from scene to scene, you knew what happened previously. There was no gaps. I was not left wondering a single time. Like, I give the movie...
Well, not till the end.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess resolution.
After that,
yeah, I mean, because she just gets in the car with the movie.
After he gets shot, she gets in the car with the money that she won and just goes off. And his wife's like, "I'm gonna call the police because he was locked naked in the trunk of a car, Amy." And that's it. And you know how we said in the beginning that it panned into panned out of a colonoscopy? Well, this time it panned into the bullet wound on his face. And went back into the gems, which was a great way of ending it the same way it went out. But what did you say you were going to give this movie?
One thing. So Julie doesn't actually go and cash in the bet. She convinces the guy that has the penthouse to go and pick it up for her and then meets her out front and then hands her the bags in the vehicle. But I give the movie a 10 out of 10.
Wow.
Dude, it was such a good movie.
And that's wild. That's absolutely crazy. And here I was gonna give it a 7.5.
What? That's so low.
I'll bump it up to 8 because it was a good movie. But I'm gonna stick with 8. We've been on a big roll with a lot of good movies recently, and I think our next one's gonna be phenomenal.
Dude, I'm so excited for our next one. So before we started recording this episode,
what is it?
We went ahead, we spun the wheel just to see what would hit. And it is none other than Airplane.
Airplane is
it's a
an
Leslie
old comedy
Nielsen movie.
Yes, an old comedian known for The Naked Gun and just for his just wit. It's the plot of what it says here. It was released in 1980, and it says after the crew becomes sick with food poisoning, a neurotic ex-fighter pilot must safely land a commercial airplane full of passengers.
I'm excited to see this. I wish we could do a watch along with it.
That would be awesome.
Let's look into that.
That would be cool, but I don't know how we'd record that. Would that be a supplemental or an episode?
We'll leave it up to the wheel.
Because if that was an episode, that'd be a long episode with us watching an hour and 20 minutes and then talking about it after. Because our conversations are already an hour with us not watching the movie. So that'd be like a 3-hour episode.
And we'll discuss that off air.
That's a long episode.
I mean, the movie's only an hour and 25 minutes, an hour and 20 max without credits.
I'm all for Admit One, the movie.
Let's just play some Uno then.
Oh my God.
Let's just play some Uno then. Here's a looking at you, kid.
That is a reference to an old... that is a reference to an old Rooster Teeth series where they played Uno. Or maybe that was just one. That was just one video.
It was one video.
It was, like, 5, 6,
one game.
7 hours long.
And the rules that they had were so ridiculous that it went for legitimately like 6 or 7 hours before anybody won. I still go back and watch it to this day, though. Like, that's one of my favorite like pieces of material that Rooster Teeth put out. That, and I've also been going back and watching the old Let's Play Minecraft videos. Bless you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, dude, the old school Minecraft videos are what got me into Rooster Teeth. Real heavy thing for me was the Rooster Teeth animated adventures.
Oh, yeah. I remember Red versus Blue, though. Like, I remember seeing that on early YouTube. And I watched it some, but I didn't know it was Rooster Teeth at the time.
Well, do you have any stories to add that are non-movie related?
None that have been interesting enough for me to make a note on.
Yeah, I didn't have it. Other than the kittens.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I went outside and fed my cats. I have 3 of them, Sprinkles, Muffin, and Richard. And I looked at our black cat, which is Sprinkles, I believe. I'm 100% wrong on that. But she was looking a little fluffy and fat there for a while. And Noelle and I just we assumed that she was pregnant by her brother. And we're in Tennessee, it's okay. And last night, I went out on the porch and was feeding them. I was like, she looks a little bit thinner than usual. And I heard something kind of ruffling around in the box that was on the porch. So I walk over to it and I look. And there's like 5 or 6 tiny little kittens in the box. And like, she's just looking at the kittens and looking up at me. She's like, yeah, I made that. So I run inside and I tell Noelle, like, we have kittens. And she goes, yeah, I thought she looked a little bit thinner.
Yeah, that happened. Picture of the kittens is going up, or has been up.
Yeah, we can put a picture up. I will be giving them away eventually if you live close enough to me. I'll even sign it for you.
We'll make an ad, don't worry. Official Admit One kittens. But yeah, that's this episode. A little longer than the last episode.
Who knows by the time it gets edited, though?
Yeah, we never know. The number we're looking at is never the number that we see, because we got to cut out the gaps and the silence and all the stuff.
All the pleasantries.
Here. All our secret plans for world dominate what?
We got to include a journalist in our group chat, though. Let's put in Brian O'Brien.
Oh. Oh my God! Shout out B.O.B.
Oh God.
Hey, can we get him to run an ad on the big one for this, for real?
I bet if we run an ad for his radio station, the big one, 106.3.
The big 106.3 WIRL Classic Rock.
WRIL.
Was that good? Did it sound good?
Pineville, Middlesboro, Southeastern Kentucky.
Tri-state area.
So yeah, now he has to mention us, or he'll just like copy our ad and run it instead.
I guess we're gonna get out of here, y'all.
We're gonna go on and get.
Y'all have a good afternoon,
morning, evening,
night.
Midnight. Are there any new terms for the time of day? Like, when was the last one made?
We can invent one.
What are we going to call it, though, and what time of day will it be for?
8:37 p.m. No, 8:37 a.m. is now Schwarp time. I don't know what happens at Schwarp time. I don't even remember what time I said. What time did I say? 8:37 a.m.
All right, so according to Cambridge 8:37 Dictionary,
a.m. is now Schwarp time.
These are words that are related and phrases that are related to days and times of day. We have 2:15, 3, etc. Afternoon, afternoons, all day, AM, arvo, at the crack of dawn, bedtime, break, broad, circadian, closing date, cockcrow, crack, crepuscular, crepuscular. I don't know what that is. Oh, Cyber Monday, dateless, dawn, day, daybreak, daylight, daytime, dead, dinner time, diurnal, diurnally, dusk, early hours, eve, evening. Oh, there's so many. Rush hour.
That is a lot.
The witching hour, twilight, twilit, wee small hours, 1 o'clock.
2 hours later.
I don't see drink 30 anywhere. Greenwich Mean Time. What's Greenwich Mean Time? It's boring.
But yeah, that was our episode.
Thanks for listening. Tea break.
Make sure
Watershed.
to like, follow, comment, subscribe.
Sundown. Sundial.
5 stars. 10
Polar
stars.
Night. Playtime.
30 stars.
8:37.
Admit one.
8:37 a.m. is playtime, baby. Hope you're ready, because I am.
That was hectic.
Oh, this is staying in. You still have to.
Oh my God.
Still have to close the episode.
Wait, I thought we just closed it.
No, we had.
Oh God. Oh, thanks for listening, watching, subscribing, following, watching again.
Listening again.
Make sure if you don't follow to follow. TikTok, Facebook, Snapchat, MySpace, Google+, AOL, all major media platforms. Comment. Thank you all for your love, feedback, and support. We will see you the next week, every week, for the rest of your life.
And we're not sorry for it. This is Admit One.